Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I really, really, really want someone aboard. If you want my vision, first you must ask. If you want a award from me, better not be an ass. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together, we could be just fine. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I really, really, really want some awards right now. If you wanna have a water, you gotta not be a douche. Awards don't last forever, douchebags never end. If you wanna have a water, you have got to give. Talking is too easy, but that's the way it is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patients. I am Cyphus. You know, I know him as Roland, but you know him better as Jungle Spice.
Jungle Spice.
Man, that's lazy parodying.
That
right
was
there.
fun
That's
as hell.
As lazy as it gets.
I will say that was one take. You can
one take. I modified about 6 words,
and then we went with it.
Jesus Christ!
Apparently, the most recognizable song ever.
And if you're gonna do parodies, it feels like they should be recognizable. So we applied a very,
it's formulaic. We don't want to get into like the real business behind it all. But yeah, it took us a lot of time, a lot of planning. I think we've been working on that one for 9-10 days now to release the.
Okay, I want to get the basic non-Dota shit out of the way, because we do have a lot of Dota to discuss today, I think. First and foremost, there was no Friday show because of craziness here at the studio.
Because of a hamburglar.
No, it was not a
attempted hamburglar.
So we should just tell the story proper. You and I went out to...
I'll let you tell the whole entire story, because I remember things in exaggerated ways, and just go ahead. You know the whole thing.
You and I went out to get drinks. We were talking about, and we went out to just hang out, because we've been doing nothing but either working, and then when we get together, we work on the podcast, and we were like, we'll go out and hang out, and then we ended up just talking about what we were going to do for the podcast, of course, with Let There Be Geeks, as we're getting that kind of going, which, by the way, I felt like our episode that we recorded earlier for Let There Be Geeks, the Monday episode, was an exceptionally good one. I hope folks tune into that.
I wouldn't know, because I don't listen to that shit show.
Oh, yeah, except that you're on that one today, so...
Sometimes I do bad work. You can't do good work all the time, you know what I mean?
LetThereBeGeeks.com for those who want to check it out. So we're out having drinks, and on our way back, Roland's wife calls, and she says that she heard somebody open the door to the house and then walk back out. And this was confirmed by Wazoo, who, of course, lives in the downstairs. At the time, I'll admit that I thought...
Exaggeration.
Somebody
or
didn't
like it
hear,
could have been a
or
cupboard and not a door.
Yeah, 100 things in the house.
And we're both just like, all right, we're almost there. And
we were almost there.
We were 3 minutes away.
Yeah, if that. Yeah. And so we pull up. We're driving my car. We hop. I pull into the driveway. We go inside. Wazoo comes up to kind of confirm that it did occur. And it's like, oh, that's kind of creepy. And so I thought, well, I'll go check the studio just to make sure that nothing happened out there. I walk out and it's locked, so I have to go back and get the key. And at first, I'm like semi-paranoid that somebody like locked themselves inside the studio because they heard me coming.
Because you could do that, and you could easily lock yourself in here.
But this happened to be like one of the few times that Wazoo had actually locked the studio.
He locked it because of
the
door.
Okay.
He was all paranoid. Yeah.
So I grab the key from him and I walk out. I open the door. I come inside and take a look around, and everything's where it should be. All the equipment's still there. The Mac, the mixer, the microphones, your computer. It's all looking good. And while I'm in here, I hear somebody hop the fence behind us because your studio basically is at the back of your backyard, right?
Yeah.
And it borders that fence. And the neighbors happen to have like a ladder that's laying down on the ground because they've been doing some work out in the backyard as well. And I had heard somebody hop the fence and like slam up against some metal and realized, what they hit was the ladder. So you and I come
you come in the house and you're like, do you have a weapon? And I'm like,
I just did. I
was like, I have
this point.
like, and I just go to like the kitchen knives and I'm like, yep, I have a kitchen knife.
But we can't really see anybody. So
it was a huge storm. We had 2 tornadoes hit this day.
Yeah, which was
2 tornadoes hit this day. So it's rainy,
very out of the ordinary
foggy,
weather for us.
Yeah, very weird weather.
So
perfect time to break into somebody's house, though.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And kind of weird because there's nobody on the road. I mean, even when we were at the bar, this was a Thursday night, so
yeah.
Even when we were at the bar, there was
it was
not
dead.
A soul there.
I was like, God, it's got to be like 1 a.m. and it's 10 o'clock and we're the only people in there. So they're trying to get us to drink too, and I'm like, we're good. Like, leave us alone. We don't drink that much.
We drink enough. So we hop in my car and we go drive around the block looking for the guys. We see a weird car with some out-of-state plates, and we phone it into the cops, and then cops show up, and we recap the story. Like, we just recapped to you guys, and that's about it. But yeah, so it was just a long, crazy night.
Yeah, so basically, there's a good possibility somebody entered my house, because all the lights were off and everything, while my pregnant wife was in the bedroom. Which
is very creepy.
And then they left the house and tried to break into the studio. Which when they heard somebody come out here, they got spooked. They jump a fence, they trip over a ladder, and we find a suspicious car, and nothing happens, of course.
Yeah, because you can't do much based off of suspicion. So
yeah.
Anyway, but it was primarily the reason we did not end up recording a Friday show.
And so luckily, I mean, there's a good deadbolt on the studio, and there's really no way to get in. The windows are too small to climb through.
Unless you knew how to pick a lock.
Unless you knew how to pick a lock. With this deadbolt, you could...
I'll bet I could pick it.
Yeah, maybe you could pick it. But yeah, it was definitely probably somebody... I have a suspicion on who it was, just from people I've known in the past that know that I have expensive stuff, and that could be hawked really easily for drugs.
Probably.
So
yeah. So I mean,
it was.
Thankfully, nothing happened. Doesn't look like
I was hoping I was going to be able to stab a fool, dude, but I didn't get my chance.
No, they were already gone.
I could. I would have been like, I'm going to stab you, and they would have been like, just drop the knife. Come on, like, you're not going to do anything. I'm like, well, I could. And they're like, no.
It was a creepy all around experience.
It was eerie and kind of creepy. And yeah, definitely.
And it sounds like nothing, I realize. Every time I've told the story, it sounds like nothing, but it was.
It was definitely a big deal at the time. And my wife already, being 30 weeks pregnant, little over 7 weeks or a little over 7 months. So
yeah,
it's like, fuck you, burglar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, don't do that. And so now every time I come out to the studio, I have to lock my door to the house.
Oh yeah. It makes her feel safe, and why not do it for a while and just see?
The weirdest part is the dog didn't bark. But I don't know. He could have thought this is when Andrew gets home.
Well, it sounds to me like somebody opened the door, like took a peek inside, maybe even heard her milling around in the bedroom, and then just closed the door and went back right back out. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. And I mean the police officer that showed up, he was a super cool guy. He's actually Denny's neighbor.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we didn't realize this until way later, but he's just like this shit happens all the time, and they get away all the time, and I'm sorry. And it's like, well, and he's like, if you guys ever want an extra cruiser in your area, because we live in a nice area, he's like, just call the non-emergency line and just ask them to have.
It is disturbing how little, how often robberies don't lead to any kind of an arrest. It's a little bit disturbing, I guess.
Oh, and he was straight up. He's like,
we'll never get that. Well, they didn't take anything either, so it's. What do you do?
I think so. I think they definitely wanted what was in the shed for sure, which is a bunch of easy equipment to grab and sell for thousands of dollars. Like even on like classifieds, like you could sell it. You could take it to a pawn shop and get probably $3,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
or so.
Yeah.
I mean, but
you get at least $1,000 for the stuff that's really easy to walk off with.
Yeah, and so it was definitely scary, and it was right when I was getting ready to record Proudland, and was on the phone with Proud, and I called him, and I'm like, hey, I'm on my way home. Let's get ready to record.
Oh yeah, that's right. You called him like right before we left. Huh?
Yeah, and then I called him
call.
after the police officer left. Like, that guy was definitely like made me feel better about like police in general. Like, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, sorry, dude, we're not recording tonight.
Yeah.
Like, my wife is like, you know, freaking out, and you know, it's just not happening.
Yeah, everybody's uncomfortable. So let's see. Is there any other non-Dota news we need to get into? Anything show related we need to touch on before we move forward?
No, we'll stop on escape rooms. By the way, guys, if you don't like our tangents, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are completely Dota-centric.
I think there's only one person that complained about yours about these.
Well, I'll go ahead and say that. Go ahead and listen to them. They're going to talk all about Dota. Guess what?
Sometimes
Danny and I started this, and we have minds and brains and conversations that may not pertain perfectly
Sometimes
to
we
Dota.
tangentialize. Sometimes we do.
And guess what? You have the option for 4 other shows. That's why we created a network. So by all means, don't listen to this one.
Yeah, sure. That's always what you want on a podcast, is to tell people to not listen.
Well, if I mean, we're here to.
Hey, don't listen. Don't listen to that. Don't listen.
I'm not saying like if you don't like the dynamic that we have and the topics that we bring up, then by all means, like, that's why we created the network. We realized that
I think we always inevitably get back to Dota at some point.
Last week it was hard because my mind was completely on the escape room thing. Absolutely still is, but there have been further complications to getting it done. Waivers, different types of licensing, all sorts of things that I have to get sorted out with the lawyer.
Thankfully, it sounds like some of that can be taken care of with the overall .p.
The good news about the escape room is I contacted my lawyer, and he is setting up our business as we speak, so it'll be done within a couple of days. We will be an official LLC, .p. .p will not just be a podcast. It still will be a podcast, but .p is going to be kind of like a mother brand or an umbrella brand for anything we want to do. Yeah. So if you hear us talk about escape rooms, you can tune into the other show, Let There Be Geeks, where we will keep the more non-Dota related
And I
content.
guess the whole reason to even bring any of that up is not to tell people to not listen, but instead there
are other shows that will suit you better. That are still on.
Well, no, I mean, even from the Monday show, like the part of the reason Let There Be Geeks kind of spawned was so that we had other outlets for discussing.
I look at it like a platform for launching rockets, and some of them make it into the atmosphere, and some of them like just blow up. You know what I mean? Just don't even fucking work at all. So, and it's been fun. It's nice, and we haven't been plugging it too much. The reason we haven't been plugging Let There Be Geeks, our other project that we're working on, Denny is heading it up. Is because we want to get it to the same quality that Defense of the Patients is at before we start really plugging it. But if you guys want to get an early look at us trying to start a new project...
Like I said, I thought today, because we get into LARPing...
Yeah, we talked about LARPing. So if you're interested in LARPing, if you go to iTunes and type in Defense of the Patients, the podcast that comes up as people who also listen to this thing is Let There Be Geeks. So
really?
Yeah. Huh. It's the number one thing. So like when you pull up Defense of the Patients, it's like, bam, there's the Let There Be Geeks.
Cool.
So yeah, we're definitely, we never intended on just doing Dota. We love Dota and we play it all the time, and we're about to start talking about Dota. We're just doing some housekeeping, but we never intended on just staying with Dota. This is my job. This is what I do for a living.
Well,
at the time, like
I think we never intended to be doing this for a living, even.
Well, 2.5 years ago, we didn't intend to do this as a living, but we've now been talking with advertisers. Blue, our project manager, is doing a really good job. Denny is doing a really good job. I'm staying out of their way, because if an advertiser talks to me, then I'm just going to tangentialize.
And they like to just talk.
And then next thing we know, I'm like, yeah, this guy tried to break into my house, and it's crazy, man.
He's like, hey, I live in San Francisco and have no idea who you are, and I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. So, as far as business development, though, to give you guys an idea, it was Denny and I that did everything. I guess I would have been community outreach for a long time.
Yeah.
You would have been like logistics and
Sure.
and type thing.
I guess.
If we were to give ourselves titles for the start. But
I think we did a little of everything, probably.
I did have the talk with my wife very recently on that. I hope you still want to be with me, because I promise you I'm never going to get a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to compromise on that, then I'll get a 9-to-5.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was a problem, ma'am.
But like, we've been, smart with everything, and I'm lucky enough to be in the position that I'm in,
And be able to-
and get you into that position very soon, and then get more of the people within .p. Wazoo will be third, and then everybody will come after.
Yeah, that's going to be fun it's fun looking forward to other, and even just realizing like all the stuff that we're kind of getting into. Anyway, but we did a lot of that talk last week. Escape room's kind of the next wave of things beyond podcasting that we're looking at.
And it will be .p escape rooms. It'll be defense of the patients try and escape like that.
Yeah.
We're looking into buying,
which I think works well for that. Yeah. I think that name even works well.
I think it
you
does.
Know what I mean?
It does. So right now we're looking into buying real estate to have a proper office for defense of the patients.
Yeah, place where we can do the escape rooms, also record, also do
all of our recordings, because we're getting to the point where we're going to be recording like maybe 4 to 5 things a day.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing about 5 hours of recording every single day. So it's about 25 hours of just pure recording a day, and then I come in and mix things. Juice, by the way, I did want to address this, that Juice was a huge help to us on our big interviews. And like, Juice, I know you're listening. I want you to know that if you want to be involved, I'm not like saying you can't be involved. I'm just saying that your work, like, I know what it costs to pay a sound engineer, because I was in a band once, and we had to save all of our cigarette money and share a pack of smokes in order to pay for a sound engineer for a 1-day recording. So people are offering services that cost way too much, and I feel way bad on taking them up on it, because it's just
abusing it.
It's
for sure.
It's just too much work when it's something that I know I'm not a great sound, like, I'm not a good sound engineer, guys. Like, I have a shitty little license that I got from a shitty little school. That's all I have. Like, Juice is an industry professional that knows a lot
and when
about
the day
this.
comes when we can hire up old Juice.
Juice, like, the second that position becomes available, and we can pay him what he deserves to be paid, he would definitely be hired, because he is an invaluable resource. I just feel way too bad taking him up on, like, hey, we just did this episode and it's pretty sloppy. You're going to need to fix like a bunch of stuff.
And our recording schedules are really...
They're weird. They have to be.
Yeah, they have to be. I work
Me and
during
Proud
the day.
record at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how it's been working out, and it's been tough, but that's just how it has to be. I'm about to make the great migration into moving my personal computer inside, and so we can just use...
Are you... I mean, this is Dota relevant. Are you going to be kind of sad?
No, it's just so in case we need to get in the car and get to the hospital.
You can abandon a game in a moment's notice and go.
And it's getting to that point where 34 weeks, they won't stop delivery. So that's literally 4 weeks from when you're hearing this.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks, they will not stop delivery for my child. So I need to be not 150 feet away and try and unlock the door to get in and then get her in the car and everything. I need to be moments notice in the car. We're going to labor and delivery. So I'm going to be, so the studio, so we're going to use the studio for primary studio purposes. Like, literally, the studio is now just going to be just a studio.
Yeah.
There will be no video games even played in the studio. You're going to lose my streaming for a little bit, probably. Or at least the green screen, which is a bummer, because the green screen is the best part about my streaming.
Yeah. I suspect you'll still stream.
I'll probably still stream, but you'll see the inside of my house instead of the studio.
Well, you'll still be able to put your, like, the stuff in front of you. It's the stuff behind you won't be able to really change very well.
No, the hut would just be covered by what was behind me. The green screen is covering everything else out. So, like, I just, I like my overlays.
I understand.
I like my
but
overlays.
it's not gonna
Anyway, so
bad.
there's gonna be big changes for me, which is a big reason why we had to get a project manager. We needed somebody to fulfill the role that I was trying to fulfill. Granted, I wasn't doing it very well, and Blue has done nothing but impress. So if you guys think that, like, we're small time, we are. But
yeah.
The other thing that the addendum I'm going to add to that is we're seeing insane growth, and I want to over the air say thank you to everybody that's listening.
And if you are enjoying what you're hearing, and you are enjoying the occasional Monday tangents that we allow, I'm realizing as I look at the time now, we've already allowed a lot this episode. But I mean, if you're enjoying that stuff and you're enjoying the like Dota content that's Dota specific the rest of the week, because you say what you will about the Monday show, the guys on Tuesday, we on Wednesday, the Theory Crafters, and you guys on Friday, like you guys, it's pretty straight Dota talk.
It is pretty straight. And you guys also have to realize it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It actually does it's a part-time job.
You mean keeping the shows coming?
Yeah, well, just keeping .p afloat is a part-time job for
absolutely.
me.
I mean, if not more. I get off work every day about 4:30. I pretty much come straight here, try to
till like
get
11,
recordings going,
and then you go to bed.
Yeah, and then I get up and during the week, that's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
And if I can squeeze a Dota game in like way late at night that I really shouldn't, or right after work when I can get off just a little bit early, I try to do that. But
and Dota is definitely suffering by doing a Dota podcast.
It's weird that it does,
but
yes.
I have definitely ramped Dota up into high gear.
I was gonna say I feel like I have too this last week,
I'm playing better Dota than I ever have. And the one thing that I keep, and it's something that it's like a mantra that I keep like saying in like my mind when I'm playing is, it's not going as fast as you think. It's not going as fast as you think. And it's actually slowing the game down for me, which is really nice. Like, I was Zeus mid, and the only reason I went Zeus mid is because somebody random a Bloodseeker, and they're going jungle. And I thought, you know what? Zeus is good here.
Yeah.
I'll pick Zeus second. Like, I don't even care. And then Audrey called me, and she's like, my back really hurts. And I went inside. And I was like, Audrey, I've got to come in, but I really don't want to abandon this game. How serious is it? She's like, it's not serious. We just rub on my back. And I did. And I came back to find that I had 0 gold and I'd missed 2 creep waves because I hadn't entered battle. So I started with 0 gold that game. And I got 3 raindrops on Zeus. I bought 3. So like I got enough last hits with just my mana pool by using like the 6 Qs that I could use or whatever. Got enough. It was 2 minutes by the time I started. I was getting close to abandoning probably. And then got into the game and still got an 18-minute Ags. Still got a refresher at like 25 minutes and we crushed.
Do you think refresher is better than Ags on Zeus? Because I don't think the damage... Because if you're talking about like...
Refresher is awesome because Zeus needs to be casting his spells constantly.
Wouldn't you... Yeah, I know. That's
Are you saying refresher before Ags?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe. That's not what I did.
You should look it up and find out.
You could totally theory craft it, and it's probably right. But
I believe that I mean, if you're looking at like double tapping your ult, right? Double tapping your ult, I think, is more damage collectively than a single Ags ult.
But the only thing is you might not have enough mana if you didn't get Arcanes and if you didn't get Staff of Wizardry. You might not have the mana pool to ult, refresh, ult. And that could be a problem. So I don't know. But I went 3 raindrops into Arcanes, into Ags, into Refresher.
3 raindrops simultaneously?
3 raindrops sent all at once, and you know what's really awesome is when one got to 1 charge, you drop it on the ground, and then you drop all 3 of them on the ground, and you pick that one up first, and so then that's not going to get procced and go away if it has 1 charge. So now my one with 5 charges is going to get down to 1 charge. Then I drop both of those, and so
that still feels like a huge waste to me. I still think it is. I don't think that 0.85 mana is worth it. In fact, I think you get more. I think you probably would get more out of building any int item in the game.
No, I was getting 5.4 regen per second at 5 minutes. 5.4 mana regen, and I needed it really bad to last hit because I had no items. I had no gold, no items. And so that was my... Say it's wrong, say it's right. I won the game, and I was definitely a huge reason why I won the game.
So the damage on Zeus's ult is 425 at 3rd level. With Ags, it's 640. So you're looking at 215 increase in damage.
Definitely more damage.
So yeah, I mean, you're getting a 50% increase with Ags.
And you have more regen, and you can cast more Qs and more Ws and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I usually go refresher over.
My raindrops, I just ended up selling them as I needed the slots. I never even went through a single set of raindrops because of me dropping them and picking them up in such a way where I had it to the point where I had 3 raindrops all at 1 charge each.
And you get like 2.5 mana regen out of doing that?
I get 0.85 per one, and then Zeus already has high int, so he starts out at like 1.4. So I'm getting like, I was getting like 2.4 plus my 1.4, so I was getting like 4 mana regen right when I got them. Then as I leveled up, by the time I got Arcanes, my mana regen, if you want to count, like if I was hitting it every single time, was really, really good. And that way I was able to cast W's super often, and it actually got me back in the game. Because think about it, like it cost me 700 gold for those 3 raindrops to get protection from spells, and a shitload of mana. And yeah, it was probably the wrong choice, but I was panicking. I had no gold. I didn't have enough for a...
Yeah, I guess I just don't like... And
I've yet to I would see never it do it again. I would never do it again.
Well, but you have done it before. The only reason I bring it up is because you have mentioned buying
I do 2
multiples of raindrops.
I do 2.
Right. But even 2 raindrops, I still feel like is...
We're talking about Dota where anything can work and it's highly situational.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I mean?
Right.
It's the wrong decision.
Is it the most efficient decision? You know what I mean? Like,
when I ran out of mana, when I had 0 mana left, I still was full health. I can't remember who I was midding against, but it was somebody that was also... Oh, it was a dual mid. I was midding against a Quap and a Silencer. And so I had a wand shipped out really quickly too. Or a stick, not a wand. And so I had a stick, and they're constantly... So she kept throwing daggers at me, and it was blocking a shitload of dagger damage. And I got to the point where every time the dagger ticks, it's taking a whole charge off. So I'm taking no damage from a dagger, from a Quap dagger. So I was dropping the ones that were low on the ground so that I could get my charges evenly distributed, but still keep the mana regen. Because I wanted them for mana regen and the protection from 2 people trying to rush my ass. And by the time I got to lane, they were level 3 and I was level 1. Both of them. And so, like, I needed a quick fix. And it was already, like, 2 minutes and 30 seconds by the time I got to lane. And I bought a raindrop and was like, nope, I need 2. Bought another raindrop. I got a kill. Bought a 3rd raindrop and had it shipped out. And was like, better than bottle. I'll die if I try and go get a bottle. Quap will blink on me and scream and dagger. And Silencer will do last word or whatever. And I'll blow up.
Yeah, I don't know.
It worked that game, but I'm not saying that like, hey guys, I found a loophole in the game.
No, I
like,
know.
This is it. Like,
I know you're not arguing
that.
I would argue against the efficiency of doubling.
Well, I mean, what 700 gold? What else?
I've been wrong before.
Buy? 700 gold buys a bottle. 700 gold buys boots and a little ways.
I'd still rather have the bottle. I'd still rather have just that gold towards arcanes. On Zeus, maybe even a null talisman. You know.
Yeah. Well, the null talisman wouldn't have given shit for regen.
But it would have eventually built in.
And I couldn't right click. I had to stay back. I couldn't right click.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the fact that you grab raindrops is a good thing because it's something I even recognize. Like, it almost takes Alina being in a game for me to remember to get to buy fucking raindrops.
Oh, there's not a game. There's not a hero that doesn't have a reason to get raindrops, in my opinion.
Oh no, I agree with you. I think they're almost always collectively a good thing.
At least
it's
one set.
It's the same concept of. Ever since Proud, I think it was Proud who discussed it with us, but like
you can beat people that are 5K
Proud,
if you buy raindrops. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's just how good they are. So. Yeah.
They're
an
OP
really
item. Yeah.
No, I completely agree with the sentiment of buy 1 set of raindrops, and if you need a second, absolutely. Like if you absolutely need a second, buy another one because you're eating into your net worth. You're literally eating net worth. Which like when mangoes first came out, I remember buying I kept having mangoes shipped out to me on Sven because I kept wanting to throw stuns, and I realized like how come I'm not like progressing. Right. And it's because I'm spending 125 gold for every stun. You know, like you can't. There comes a point where you have to say,
they are not.
I need to progress and not just eat my net worth.
The efficiency of those items decreases drastically the longer the game goes on.
Yeah,
and about the time that raindrops become active is about the time that
raindrops are pretty fucking good all game. They're blocking 150 mana damage 5 times
on a core that has a free item. You know what I mean?
So, I had 6 free slots. You know what I mean? Sure. And I was like, I need to fill these slots. Like, honestly, it probably was the most mana efficient thing I could have done with the gold that I had. It was definitely... A bottle wouldn't have given me that much mana. And I couldn't walk to get a bottle. I couldn't walk to get runes.
Yeah,
I could have bottle crowed, sure, but like look at 2K. Like I put my bottle on that, somebody's gonna call it, and then the courier is gonna slowly take them their item while my bottle's on it, and then I'm never gonna get my bottle back ever again.
No, I know.
Like
bottle crowing at 2K is almost impossible.
Yeah, it's
but,
not
and you
gonna
have people
happen.
freak the fuck out about.
And
like,
it's like I need my ward because I'm a support and I just bought a ward, and so you're gonna have the courier.
bring a single ward.
Yeah, bring one ward, and it's like go home and get it, dude. Like I need my bottle.
Well,
like,
not even go home and get it, but just like wait.
just let me at least get my bottle one more time.
All I ever do anymore, and I think it semi-ingratiates me whenever I play support, which I'm not doing much of. But anytime I'm playing support and I'm trying to get a ward shipped out, I try to make sure that I'm not. If I have a ward, I'm only grabbing it if like I have multiple wards or we need sentries right the fuck away, or my core that I'm supporting in lane is getting something shipped out, and then I'll throw my shit on there as well, and I'll immediately hit him up and be like, "Hey, reuse the courier." You know, and you even just being the person who says, "Hey, reuse the courier," you look like somebody who's willing to work with the fucking team, and all of a sudden everybody.
Oh, and this team was so understanding because I picked the Zeus like right after he random Bloodseeker. He's like, "Oh, great! Like this is gonna be awesome." And I was like, "You know what, dude? Like I'm gonna pick Zeus. Just level Thirst. That's what you do anyway. You get Q and Thirst." And
was he jungling?
Yeah, he was jungling because he randomed it and he wanted to. Whatever. We had actually a pretty cool team comp. Like we had a support top and we had a carry top and then we had a good offlaner, and like we actually had a pretty good team. And I had my headset on, my wireless headset, while I was in the room, and I could hear everybody like, "Where's Zeus? Oh my god, I can't believe like he was so communicative, and now he's just gone. Like what the fuck? Where's Zeus? Where's Zeus?" And then I'm like running back to the studio as I'm locking the front door and like, and then doing this, and then running back and like. I'm like, "I didn't abandon." They're like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Then I click enter battle and there's 0 gold.
I've never seen that.
If you don't enter battle, it just ticks down.
I thought that was only if you don't pick.
You can watch the replay from the start. I started out with 0 gold. I had 0 gold. It ate all my gold.
That's weird.
Yeah, I thought it was weird too. And then I was like, "Guys, don't freak out. I'm really sorry, but I have 0 gold."
Are you sure you didn't get the abandon anyway?
No, I got point. We won the game. I got points for it.
Like it was a ranked match?
Yeah, it was ranked.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got points for it, and we played extremely well, and we smoked. We played as a team. It was a really like refreshing experience. Yeah. And then I played a game as PA where I went like 20-4 and lost. They just had more carry, and it came to a point where we had our window, and our Sven would rather hit Ancients than take advantage of our window. And that was the thing, is that we had a farmed Sven and a farmed PA, and we lost. And I wasn't mad. I wasn't being a dick. I was just like, "Sven, please fight with us. Please fight with us." And he's like, "I need to get my Seda." And like he's to that point where like he would have to get rid of his helm of he has a helm of Dominator.
The last slot is the helm.
Yeah, like his last slot is helm. He already has boots of travel and everything, and this game's going way late. And we had our opportunity where we wiped them, and we took 2 racks, and we could have megaed if Sven was there. But then the 2 bought back. I unfortunately died. I had buyback. I didn't even need to use it, but then Sven ran in after alone.
Yeah.
Tried to kill the melee racks, not the ranged. He didn't try and do chip damage on the range, which I would have then been like, well, at least we can kill that range pretty easy. Nope, of course, what does everybody do? They try and kill the melee racks, they get it down to half health, and then they die. And then what they did was
Do you think at our level that there's a lack of understanding of the regeneration on the
I think it's,
melee?
No, I think it's an over-appreciation of melee means more than ranged.
Yeah,
people know that that melee regenerates.
So I want to say that I always totally 100% understand where you're coming from when you're saying that, and I think you're right. Like,
it's
I think
feel though. If they're all wiped, if they're all dead, get the melee, and then you can chip the range.
Start melee,
but like if like you've killed 3 of them and the other 2, and it's like their 2 carriers are still alive and they're coming back for you, but they don't have TPs, and you
it's a feel,
and you might not have time to get that melee. Like,
or if it's a 4v, like if I think usually it's in situations where like it's a 4v2 and you know what I mean, or a 4v3 and I can see one of them is trying to push a lane that they need pushed out. Like I might consider going for the melee.
Dude, it's so frustrating. Like even I mean, in most of my games, when we take high ground and say we're just like really strong, we're really far ahead, and we're pushing up high ground, and we take the tower, and they're just like, oh shit, they're stronger than us, they're not wanting to fight us. No one's died yet. It's still a 5v5. We're all 5 there. They're all 5 trying to defend, and then everybody just rushes the melee. And I don't understand it. I just like, let's do some chip. Like this way we can hit, maybe get it down to half, and then evacuate without having to, like, when you're on a melee and it's about to die, you're willing to give your life for it.
Yeah.
When you're on a range and it's about to die, you say, well, I'll come back and finish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that damage is forever. Like, I was streaming.
No, I think what you're talking about is like fundamentals. You know what I mean?
I would think it's fundamental, but every time I play a game, it's always melee, regardless of the situation. Like, there is no situation. It's just melee, you dumbass. You go for melee. You don't go for ranged ever. It's melee. And I remember being stuck in that thinking for a very long time where it's like, okay, we don't have much time. Let's hurry and get this melee down. When really the right call was just get a ranged, get 1,000 gold for your team, because it is 200 per person, and then leave. And now that lane is going to push. Now you don't even have to worry about that lane, really. Yeah. It's going to naturally push, because now your ranged are super range creeps. And now you can worry about killing another range.
And it's not a lot of push, but it's push. You know, it's not as much as you might have felt. But like, you know what because you're right. I don't think a lot of people even notice that what really makes the lane push is like the number of ranged creeps that they have stacked up. I think that's something that they don't get. I don't think there's an appreciation.
Well, the melee are going to die because they're going to fight, and you know.
I don't think there's an appreciation for the ranged creep,
especially when you see like 5 ranged and 2 catapults, and you're like, we should obviously be where the 5 ranged and 2 catapults are, because we talked about this on Proudland, and I think on other educational shows that we've done, that creeps do more damage to towers than you do.
Right.
That doesn't mean if I have 5 divine rapiers and I hit a tower, I'm going to do more damage. But if I have 50 damage and a creep has 50 damage, that creep is going to do more damage to the tower than I am if we attack at the same rate with the same amount of damage. The creep does normal damage where I do hero damage. Yeah. Or I'm probably saying that wrong, but they're different damage types, which is something that you've got to put explain that to Rin and be like, no, you want the creeps. Hey. Like, the creeps do more than you. And it's like,
it's only just now playing with her. What I have to keep reminding myself playing with Rin, with Grandma Ralph, for those who've joined us and played a few games. That's Rin. That's my girlfriend. That's what I'm talking about. It's only just gotten to the point now where I can.
She's good.
Not freak out.
I will say that playing with her for her first 10 games was like, it was
painful. It was painful.
It was painful, but it would have been. But painful. I don't rage. Like, I just what I didn't. I guess it's hard when you've played a lot of Dota to be like, just get back, and then them staying there. And it's just like Proud playing with me.
Right.
Where, I know to get back, but I didn't do it the second he said to do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm dead. But if I did it the second he said to do it.
And there's a lot of that. Like, I kind of want to have her come on the show, actually.
Yeah,
and
it'd be interesting.
Because it's been funny lately, because she's getting to a point now where I'm doing that. Is the response I get. It's like, I'm on it.
Well, it's because you're telling her.
Right. No, and I know that there's an element of that, and some of it's
just like just like I couldn't tutor my wife in math.
Yeah.
Just because she's like, I know what I'm doing, and it's like, no, you don't.
It's that
like, in my mind, I'm like, no, you don't. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you have no idea Pythagorean theorem. But I'm just gonna let you fail until you ask me for help, even though I can clearly see and could correct your behavior right now. Just keep going. Keep going.
Because the other night we played a game. So, it was right after the police nonsense here, the burglary nonsense here. I went home and I played a game with her, and she has been complaining. She doesn't like when I play Spectre, and I've been playing a lot of Spectre in normal matches with her, but partially because that was where I just felt like learning my Spectre.
That's a good way to do it. Spectre's hard to last hit with, nuanced. Yeah. It's cool to use Haunt twice. If that
I
makes
just
sense.
I
Like to haunt to multiple targets.
So I think I was talking about that with you last
Yeah.
week. Because I pissed that guy off, and I haunted in, stole his kill, and I haunted right back bottom, and I started farming again.
And that's like ultimate efficiency.
Yeah, and he was super fucking pissed.
That's like Sven efficiency with stacking ancients.
But I got 2 fucking urn charges, and I got a hero kill.
You just got 300 damage.
Yeah,
is the way to look at it. You 300 pure damage.
So she doesn't like that I'm playing Spectre though, because in the kind of the MO of the games that she and I play together is, especially when I'm playing Spectre, is the game, our laning phase goes decently because she's kind of getting the hang of, especially when she's playing Lich. She is really comfortable on Lich. I'm getting more comfortable on Spectre, so we have a good laning phase. Then when the laning phase kind of ends, it gets really rocky for
and she can't follow you around anymore.
And she can't follow me around anymore, and it gets really rocky for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And then, because, again, we're playing with like such a wide range of skill that, God only knows what the fuck's going on. And then I come online and we win the fucking game. And that's kind of been...
And it's hard to understand that. I remember... And
well, she gets it. No, but the thing is that she gets it. She doesn't like that it goes that long.
It took me so long to get carry. When you got that way before I did. When Andrew would be like, "We need a carry," and I'm like, "Every hero's a carry. Every hero can do well. Like I can carry a game as Crystal Maiden. Like what are you talking about?" And it wasn't until probably sadly 6 months into my Dota playing that I realized the ones that are able to farm.
Well, because you can go 15-1 on a. I mean, I've had 15-1 games on a Crystal Maiden. You know what I mean?
And,
but it didn't
been the sole purpose for winning. Maybe you're not taking the towers down, but you're killing everybody.
Yeah,
and you're
but I'm not putting
in.
out the right click damage. I'm not.
And it took me a long time to understand that. So some heroes aren't carries. I can carry a lot of things. Because going back to all the heroes that I played when we first started,
right? Well, and playing every hero is kind of the same.
And you get that reward complex where I played a Bat Rider game and I won that game for that team. I carried that game, and it's okay. Yeah, you did really well as Bat Rider. It's like Miracle jumping in a game. He could play any hero at 1K and carry the game.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He could, but when you start to get in your bracket where you're pretty much honed into where your skill is. No, you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah,
there are exceptions for sure. Like Silencer can switch into core, and he can be a carry sometimes. Yeah. I personally don't think ever, but he can be a carry
I've
sometimes.
Seen some impressive Silencers.
Yeah,
but the reason she didn't like it is because the games go long. They go really long.
Yeah, well,
because it's about that time that I can come online enough to overcome whatever the rest of our team
better to have 2 30-minute, one 30-minute win, 1 30-minute loss than an hour win. Because way
I think there's an element of that for it. So, and for her sake, I have other earlier game cores that it can come online, but like Jug, like Sven, those are all those are both heroes that I can play and get into the fight real soon. Actually, Wraith King, which she's fallen in love with recently, but so, but
by the way, I helped her so much. She was jungling, and I salved her 2 times while she was in the jungle. I was like, just come to me, and I didn't say anything.
I wondered why she had said.
Because I saw that she was low, and I just wanted her to have a fun jungle time because I know how much fun I have in the jungle, just killing things without anybody trying to attack you. It's fun to get gold.
Yeah,
everybody likes the sound of gold. Everybody likes to get gold, and so I just bought 3 salves once and just went and salved her and waited around.
Well, we'll talk about that game in a second. Yeah. I gotta tell you about that. So
okay.
What I've started doing, and I feel like I just see PA everywhere. I feel like I'm seeing people I know play PA constantly, and I was like,
you and Andrew.
Yeah.
I bought the Arcana.
I was like, fuck it. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn her.
Yeah.
And it is a blast.
And Proud. I mean, that's Proud's hero.
Yeah. And so realizing, and I just completely ripped Proud's build off.
And it's good.
And it's really fucking good. In fact, the other day, it was earlier today, before I came over here, I got 1 PA game in before I came over.
I got a game of PA in today, too.
And this asshole was, I'm farming, and it's only 18 minutes in, and he's like, you gotta be with the team, we gotta be 5-manning, and we're getting 5-manned and losing fights. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be with you while we're 5-manning and losing fights. While they're 5-manning too. I'm like, instead, I'm gonna spread out and farm, because I know enough to do that as
I need to get my Deso. I need to get, BKB is important.
I grab my Vanguard right the fuck away. I phase Aki first, but then, so I grab my Vanguard. And
do you see what Proud does?
Yeah.
Proud queues up Aki, FaZe, and Vanguard.
Yeah, I do. I do
me
precisely
too, at the start of the game.
Yep,
and
at
I
the
just
start
buy
of every game.
And I just buy it as I need it.
Sometimes you need that ring of health a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
it's
need...
really cool. And that way you don't have to go into the shop. It's just all right there in your quick buy.
Yep.
And everything... Every
I'm
single
doing
item.
that on all heroes
You
at
can
this
get
point.
every single one of
Yeah.
those items except for Ring of Protection and the recipe for Aki at the side shop.
Right. Yeah, I completely ripped him off on that. Yeah, I'm
Well,
I'm
and
100%
Wraith Band
there.
components and the circlet.
But so I get that fucking Vanguard up, and this asshole starts losing his shit. Like I know I talked about that OD last week, like really being pissed about me going up there and farming, but like he let it go. This guy was losing his shit because I didn't build lifesteal. And I was just like, and I didn't know what to tell him. I was like, look, man, it's like, I
got a buddy that's 5K.
Yeah.
He's streaming right now, probably playing PA.
I think what I told him was, I was like, lifesteal's for nubs. Is what I typed.
Oh,
Because I wasn't trying to talk. I was like, lifesteal's for nubs. That's what I went with. Because he continued berating me so much for it. And I was like, fuck him. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Play your own hero, dog.
Yeah.
Play your own hero, dog.
And then I came online hard and just wrecked that game. And then at the end, he was playing Ricky. And at the end, I said, "You're welcome, Ricky."
See, I don't, dude. Lately, I've just so you know how I have this like weird thing where I don't read chat. Like
Yeah.
it literally, like I have come to the point where I ignore it. And so, but then I'll look up at my stream and they'll be like typing something like, "Oh, what a douchebag! You should report this guy." And I'm like, what? Why? And then I press enter and scroll up and like he's like flaming me hardcore. But like it's like ignorance is bliss. It's great. Like I never read unless it's like GG well played, GG well played, GG well played. Unless it's like taking up like my entire screen because they're typing so much.
Yeah.
I just literally don't even read it.
Yeah.
I just like
Oh no, this guy was
it.
talking on the mic. I was intentionally not talking back.
Oh.
But anyway, so I told you all that because I keep trying to tell you this fucking story.
I know.
So Thursday night I get home, and because of all that, so I've been playing PA. And she didn't want to play a really long game. And I said, okay, well, I'll play PA. PA is an early game hero. We're either going to win or we're going to fucking lose at, 40 minutes in, and it'll be over. The game went 76 minutes.
Oof.
And we won.
Nice.
But she was so stressed by the end of it. And I was so fucking bossy because
Because it's 76 minutes and you want plus 25.
Well, and it was a normal game. Like I wasn't even gonna get plus 25 out of it.
You just want,
but like I can't do it, dude. I told
W.
we talked about it on Wednesday that like, and it's part of why I've been going back to normals. I used to just play ranked because I felt like I needed something on the line every time. But you know what I realized is 10
Once
minutes.
you get into a game, you want it. You want the win anyway.
10 minutes into any game, I want it like it's the real thing. It just the same way whenever we practice poker together, like anytime we would go heads up for nothing, like
we just had to start and then we would finish.
Yeah,
type thing.
I had to do it.
And to add on to your story, my new way. So if I'm going to jungle, I'm doing it in normal now, and I'm doing all random. So I have to jungle the hero that I get randomed.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's a way, and I'm still getting reported.
Yeah, of course.
In all random. And so like I got a Storm Spirit and I was on Radiant and it was all random.
Ugh.
And it was that's awesome, dude. I started out with 825 gold.
Oh god.
And proceeded to own.
I know you love the Storm. I've heard somebody talk about Storm Spirit Jungle not too long ago too.
Yeah, no,
which made me think, oh god, if that starts happening and you get
it's a 17. It's a guarantee. Well, it's not guaranteed at higher skill levels, and it's not guaranteed even at my own skill level. But in the 2Ks, very, very rarely are people smoking into your jungle looking for you as Storm Spirit. I'm just like take 100 games. Maybe one of those games.
They just forget about the Storm
It's
Spirit.
just what they can't see. They isn't there. Is exactly like the philosophy. So
it's all the reason frequently. So I had to. I'll let you get back to your story. I swear. I recently had to tell somebody because I want to be able to stack and pull with the two outside camps in the jungle, with the small camp and then hard camp if you're Radiant.
Sure,
medium camp. Anyway, so I was trying to tell this guy, I'm like, look, don't come over and eat these camps. I need them to do what I'm going to do. And then it dawned on me, and I said, and they'll never know you're in the jungle if you don't come over here and show yourself to the offlaner. Yeah. It's like they'll never have any fucking clue that you exist if you just leave my fucking camps alone to start with.
They just see the X's on the map, dude.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's all
and if there's no X on the map,
because at our level,
little kids kicking a soccer ball, dude.
The last thing I'm ever thinking about is and I'll be like, and this is true, like, and maybe maybe Proud and Ursi and Flub are doing something a little bit different. or maybe this thought crosses their mind. I'm sure it does. But as a safe lane core, I am never thinking about the enemy jungler. It is so far away from where the fuck I am.
It's about as
so
far away as
out
it
of
gets.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm in the safe lane as a support, I contemplate it. Usually I'm contemplating junglers if I'm playing a roam.
And unless it's really obvious, like it's a Legion, and you're
Right.
like, ooh, well, maybe we should go
even
smoke
then as a
in there.
core, I'm not thinking of as a core.
But
I'm not
maybe
thinking
you'll
about
say
that.
something over comms like, hey, let's check that jungle and see how that
Maybe.
Legion's doing. or
I
something.
don't think I would
But-
as a core.
yeah.
If I'm being completely honest,
know.
and it's a hole in my play. But I probably as a core am more focused on getting last hits and dealing with the enemy offlaner than I am ever thinking about the fucking enemy jungle.
So that's how I'm going to fix that, because I know a lot of people, it's like the same issue Ursi had with me with randoming in ranked. It's the same idea with jungling in ranked, especially like heroes that shouldn't be jungled. So my fix to it is I just queue up for a normal game. The only game mode that I have that I'm looking for is all random, and I jungle it. And so if it says like on my birthday, I said it's my birthday and I'll jungle if I want to. But I didn't do it in ranked, and wouldn't. So,
Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah,
we also have Proud playing a game behind us. Oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. So yeah. Anyway, so we had a great game recently. I played Oracle.
Yeah.
Rin, Grandma Ralph played Wraith King Jungle, and this is the game that I was talking about with all the salves. And you played Spectre.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, Oracle Spectre is awesome.
It's a really good
Spectre,
combo.
super weak in the early game. Oracle, super good at making super weak cores survivable.
Yeah.
And so I was able to juggle from you to your girlfriend, salving her, juggle back to you, to your girlfriend. And she didn't understand that you put the W on to make you magic resistant, and then I heal you, so you don't get hurt from my heal.
Right.
And I can't hit anything. I can't hit anything. And it's like, it's okay.
Chill out.
It's okay. It'll come back in like a couple seconds. This is so you don't take damage. I didn't want to like go into like, okay, let me read you Oracle skills.
So you can already see from that game though, like she's starting to ask questions like, "What do I buy next?"
Yeah,
you know, she's getting and asking why, which is super.
That
cool to
game
see.
was excellent. Supporting you, like you did exactly what you needed to do. I left when when the equilibrium was closer to our tower.
Yeah.
And I went and stacked, or I went and helped Rin in the jungle. Or I always had a TP on me. I had a bunch of saves in the offlane where I just TP offlane and ult the dude and then heal him like 25,000 times. And then he'd come out with like completely full health. Because it's really hard to gauge, like, did they take enough damage?
I think I had like a 24-minute Vanguard radiance.
Your timings were incredible. I thought it was 22-minute radiance, and you had Vanguard, Aki.
I remember
Phase.
the radiance felt like it was on time, but I don't know why I went Vanguard first. I normally don't.
Well, the lane was hard at first.
Well, I know, but we got a few kills off of that.
You were 4-0 with 50 last hits.
Yeah, 4-0 50 minutes. Last hits at 10 minutes.
Which Purge says, the new standard is 60 by 10, but I'm gonna say those 4 kills added up to that extra 10 last hits.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's,
you could have gotten 10 more last hits if you weren't pursuing 4 kills.
Yeah, probably. Although I might have been able to hit the 60 honestly and still gotten the 4 kills had I not fucked up.
And you missed some. And
those first 2 waves I just flubbed completely.
It's hard. It's hard to with 2Bs.
Yeah,
it's
not how I meant it, but
it's hard to last hit with Spectre. Like period. And how that guy was last hitting with Spectre on that Purge video without a Quelling Blade, like, behooves me.
Yeah.
Buy a Quelling Blade.
Well, he was missing a lot.
He was
if
missing
you remember
a lot,
the video, like that's what Purge is telling me.
It was just crazy that he hit any.
And I know here we are talking about the Purge Spectre video again.
I know.
I mean, it spawned.
We're playing Spectre.
I'm playing him well.
And Purge taught me a lot where it's like, don't freak out. Like, I'm not doing like the stop left click, stop left click, stop left click, stop left click. Like, I'm just watching it and it needs to get hit. Blink. Needs to get hit. Blink. Hit it. Yep. Good. Oh shit! I missed it.
Yeah.
And that type of thing. I feel.
Oh, I go into.
I don't think I'm last hitting more. I don't think I'm last hitting more. I'm just last hitting with less stress.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah,
it means you're thinking a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
What I've been doing is I take every core that I play into a bot match with absolutely no bots. I run for 10 minutes. I don't buy Quell. I never level up a skill. I don't do anything, and I just sit in the lane. I sit in whatever lane I would run it for.
Yep.
And and it, you know what? It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten
because if you can get them when they're that much of a sliver with a Quell, that means you're going to get them so much easier.
With Spectre, I can hit about 60 last hits by 10 minutes with no Quell. Like I'm doing it almost. Are
there no bots at all?
No bots at all.
Yeah.
And which is the only way you can practice, I think, without the Quell. The reason you need the Quell is because sometimes you got to get in to get a fucking last hit while a PA is standing there and
you see a Rubik that's about to throw something at it to deny it, and you're like, well, I'm gonna have to take my chances and hope this is a last hit.
I mean, sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just the life of laning.
That's the way it is.
But if you're if you want to practice getting good at the timing, which is a critical skill, which is super fucking important to have. The reason
on all 111 heroes.
Yeah, the reason...
Or 112 now? No, 111 with Underlord, I think.
Who God only knows.
111.
But, I mean, the only reason I got 50 by
Maybe
10 minutes with 4 kills was because, I'd gone in and practiced that fucking much with Spectre.
Oh, yeah. And that was my passive bot thing, too, was that...
Yeah, and I get that. Although I don't... I think...
But I wasn't doing no items. I was progressing with my items.
And I think if you're going to play with bots and you're going to play with items, if you're going to play with items, you play with bots and you play unfair. If you're going to play with bots, or if you're going to play with no bots, you do no items and you do no skills.
Yeah,
skills.
I think that's cool, and not even to have the desolate for
no stats, like
no
nothing. I get
level. Excuse me, sorry, desolate.
Yeah,
sorry, desolate.
I ignore stats. I ignore level ups when I'm doing the practice. It's just they don't exist. They aren't happening.
No, it's a good way to practice.
It increases slightly, and from 0 to 10 minutes, it does.
Oh yeah, it will because you're getting stats.
You're getting levels.
You're leveling up. And it's good practice. And like if you think that like, oh man, 2 months ago I was so good at last hitting with Spectre, you're not anymore. I'm sorry, you've played enough heroes that. I at one point really prided myself on my last hitting with Spectre, like especially on that run that I went on with Spectre. And because of your hype with Spectre, I've been playing a lot of Spectre since last week. Haven't won a game yet, I'll tell you that much.
Dude, I win all the time with Spectre.
That's
how I feel.
And it's my own fault. I'm doing wrong things. I'm not getting the intermediary items. I'm going like straight for the big guns, and that's the wrong thing to do for sure.
What's weird with Spectre is that's what you do up to a point. You know what I mean?
I at least need a poor man's shield. I at least need
I don't think you.
I can't just go phase radiance. Like it's not. I'm not tanky enough still. Like I
think you only go poor man's if you absolutely have to in lane. Like if you know that's gonna be, you absolutely must do that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think you go poor man's. I think you're better off turning that into Vanguard, and I think it opens you up down the road to fill that slot with a basher with an abyssal blade. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
and with the game that I did get the 17-minute radiance, I was still dying a lot, but it was like I don't care. I got my radiance. Like that's good, and I ended up going back for Vanguard after radiance, and then I went back for drums after radiance.
Right.
And like I went back for all these small items when I was like, honestly, like I didn't even really need the radiance right now.
Sure.
Like I was still in lane.
I agree with going back for Vanguard.
Yeah,
I do.
And it turns, then you can get the Basher, and then you get the Abyssal, and it's a great item.
So I go phase. Sometimes I go Aki. Sometimes I just get Bassy.
I think it's just like necessary. Aki's so good for Agi heroes,
but
it's so much damage.
Yeah.
So much. No, it gives damage and it gives stats, agility.
Right. Yeah. So I phase Aki, earn, then radiance,
and that's what I should have done in that game, and it still would have been like a 20-minute radiance. Or like maybe a 22-minute radiance even, which is still a perfectly acceptable timing. And I would have had earn charges to heal myself in those situations.
Yeah.
I would have had earn charges for those people that I chased.
And the mana regen.
I would have had the mana regen. I would have had
extra HP.
Extra HP.
Tank up just a slight
from the
amount.
Aki. My right clicks would have done more.
I mean even from the earn. I mean, don't forget you're getting 6 strength from the earn. You know, you're getting a little bit.
So
of
I'm
HP
120
there.
Health.
Yeah.
So I really felt like I was like, this is such a great game. I'm getting kills. I'm getting tons of last hits. I'm definitely, after I had Stout, Quell, Phase, I'm definitely just going to rush to Radiance. Yeah. And I got it at a really good time, but that game ended at 29 minutes.
Thinking about our skill level and what holds people back specifically, and even recognizing it in myself, in people I play with frequently. That is totally one of the big reasons that holds people back and keeps them in 2K, for sure. Because when you are all racing towards the big item, when it's a free for all with all the scrubs praying to God that they get their first big item, it's whichever scrub gets there first by accident, typically, that wins the game.
It's hard to lose when you're an item up. The famous Owie quote,
right? But at the same time, like they're not. When Owie says it's hard to lose when you're an item up, he means the next logical item. He doesn't mean the next big item. He doesn't mean that you get brown boots and radiance on fucking Spectre.
It wasn't
what
brown.
I mean?
It wasn't brown. That's the one.
I know, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I frequently see at our level, I often see AMs who don't get boots and go straight for Battle Fury.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they can't sustain things.
Oh yeah, well not even that.
And
like,
they don't have
shit.
the stats, and they're easy to kill. And and then the AMs that do like the 1-1-1 and then stats till 6. I
haven't seen that one.
Well, that's just I know that like a lot of really good AMs do this, and I know there's a really good reason for it. And I'm not going to say it's bad. I just personally think that like every skill AM has is really good.
I don't play AM, and don't get me wrong, but like I can.
So like
for me, it's more about looking at items. I understand the skill. I played AM.
I can blink more often if I level up W. I am more resistant to magic if I level up E. I do more damage to people with my Q, right clicking them if they have mana.
Yeah.
I don't understand the 1-1-1 and then just going 2 levels in stats. Like I feel like 2 more levels in blink means I can get away from frequently. A really shitty situation instead of blink once.
Does it reduce the mana cost of blink?
No, I don't think so. I think it's always 40 or 70 or 50 or 60 or 10 or 20 or 100 or 90 or 80 or it's less than 100 and more than 0.
The mana cost is always 60.
60.
The range, not just the cooldown, but the range increases.
So you can go further. You can do it more often, and
it's a low cooldown, or it's a low mana cost anyway.
Or if there's an offlane Skywrath, and it's like I'm not gonna level my E. Like all he's doing is magic damage to me. Like I can get to the point where this Skywrath by level 6, if I do a 1-1-3-1, where he's doing like no damage to me with he can't right click me because his right click shit. He's constantly throwing out his Q and his W. Well, those aren't doing shit either. I've probably picked up a stick. I'm basically getting more out of it from him casting spells than I'm taking damage from it.
But what you're talking about there kind of leads into my point exactly, which is too often even if
the pro builds will cloud your situational
people
thinking.
Adhere to builds for sure. I mean, it's we do it for dumb reasons, and whether that dumb reason is it's the fucking build that you first selected when you started and you can't break the habit, or whether it's because you watched some fucking video from 5 patches ago that isn't even fucking relevant anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are dumb reasons for that kind of shit all the time. Like I frequently catch myself doing doing really stupid shit where and even by accident, or
people on the stream are always like, at least he acknowledges it, because I'm not the type of person that's like, I meant to hit S and it didn't work, like the game's broken, like I hit S there, like I meant to stop that action or whatever, where I'm just like, that was really bad. I'm very honest when I'm on stream, where I'm not like, hey guys, come see a hardcore 2.15K player.
I'm down to take it seriously, and that's what I if I'm going to take it seriously in ranked, I can't be playing ranked all the time, because otherwise I'm going to be way too fucking serious
and burnt out.
I'm not going to exactly.
Like Jordan Hansen was watching the stream today, not Jordan Hansen from 82L, aka Jordan Hansen.
Sure.
And we
have 2 Mr. Blues too.
I know, we have 2 Mr. Blues now too, and he's like, I went into another ranked, and he's like, don't, dude, like don't. You just had a bad. It was that PA game. He's like, don't, dude, just play a normal. Like, come on, like don't, like that's it. And I wonder how much MMR I would have gained if I didn't do silly jungle shit, and if I didn't queue for another rank after a pretty rough game.
I've already seen. So, well, here's the answer to your question, and it's and I think maybe this is a good note to end it on for both of us. But you and I have a very similar mentality, and that is that we don't like playing if there's not something on the line. And we would like to see that growth happen quickly if we feel like we've mastered something. And the truth of the matter is that I have probably gained more MMR in the last week by not playing that much ranked than I have in previous weeks.
Yeah.
And I've seen slow growth.
Like Ursi talks all the time where he says he never plays ranked, but yet he's still climbing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, I've played 5 games and maybe lost 1 ranked.
I'm sure Ursi probably plays like 2 or 3 normals, feels real good, like doesn't feel sick, feels pretty good, and then pops into a ranked and wins.
Right.
And there's a reason for that.
On the other hand, there are guys like Flub who view things the same way we do and plays nearly every game ranked.
Well, Proud plays nearly every game ranked too, and Proud, like watching him stream.
But they're not better than Ursi.
Oh no, Ursi's the best.
Yeah,
he's the best on the team.
Well, next to you, because you.
Oh yeah, well, I'm like their honorary coach.
Yeah,
they just don't have a spot for me at the moment. But yeah, if Ursi's the best on the team and I beat Ursi, then yeah,
you're better than their entire team.
Yeah,
really.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could just 1v5 all of Ham.
Probably. I mean, you might want me to support
Yeah. I think I could probably do it, but it'd probably help if you were around.
Yeah,
and just
just the last.
I mean, you don't even need to level skills.
If only you could duplicate yourself 5 times.
Oh yeah, then it would be really easy. Oh yeah, so Ursi, you only had things to lose when you Grouty did it, but Grouty wasn't drunk and he beat me. And guess what? No one's ever going to talk about it because Grouty was supposed to win that 1v1.
That's right.
Okay, because he's better than me. But you, sir, made a fatal mistake.
Here we are 6 weeks later and it's still not dead.
Oh, it's never going to die.
I know.
It will never die. I'm always going to be better than Ursi.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it's very clear.
And he gave me the opportunity to be better than him.
Yeah.
And anybody else that wants to give me the opportunity to try and be better than you, I'd love to take it. Because worst that happens is...
You owe some people some mid games, some mid 1v1s from Patreon.
We have a project manager, don't we?
I know. I need to talk with Blue because that's the
Tell me who I need a 1v1.
I haven't let him in on that I need to because it's the whole thing. It's why Blue's here, because somebody needs to know everything that's going on, but poor Blue hasn't gotten caught up on everything that's going on yet. He will. He will, though.
Well, now that he's in this role. And you guys, all business inquiries to defenseofthepatients@gmail.com, and you will get an email back, and it will be from Mr. Blue. Cyphus and I will not be handling any bookings or anything like that. Mr. Blue
fan stuff. When you guys write us feedback and stuff,
yeah,
for the
sure,
show,
that's great. We'll read it. We'll read it on the show, Denny and I. But as far as if you want an interview or if you want to do something like that, don't expect a response from Denny or I. That's not due to anything ego. That's
we're just trying to.
We're starting up new projects.
Yeah, we're trying to filter things through one direction.
Yeah, and Blue does need to know everything. So please don't DM me anymore about anything.
And you guys all know Blue.
Yeah, you guys, he's a great guy. Don't DM me anymore, please, about anything to do with anything that you would like to do with Defense of the Patients, because Blue is completely informed on everything.
And may know about somebody else doing something similar. It's not like we're trying to reject out ideas outright.
I'm trying to dodge you. I'm definitely trying to dodge you.
Well, you are a dodger, yeah.
No, it's literally just for organizational sake. Our community's growing to the point where we can't just have 10 different people receiving information.
Right.
We need that all to go to one place.
Yeah.
So it can be properly disseminated throughout the ranks.
He's that one ginger place.
Yes.
That we're going to send it all to.
Sold his soul to be my boss.
I want to give one shout out to Pogo. He's been watching our games and comments on them all the time. And I feel so bad because what usually happens whenever I finish a game is get up and walk away from the computer immediately afterwards.
Oh, so other people can comment on your games?
No. I'm friends with him on Steam, and he's a fan of the show.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to give him a shout out because I've missed communicating with him several times from just getting up and walking away after a game and coming back and being shit, there's a message. He was watching and usually had something cool or pertinent. He was watching our game against.
The best way to do
Spectre
it
game.
Is I just go into Notepad and I type in STFU and I copy and paste it.
Oh, is that?
And then I just Shift Tab and just Control V, enter, Control V, enter, Control V, enter, and just go through and just say shut the fuck up to every single person.
Well, I like
that
talking
messages me.
with the fans. All right.
No, I'm totally joking, guys. Anyway, this has been a very candid Dota discussion.
Yeah, that it has. There was a lot of Dota talk this episode. Yeah. That's right, Kyle. Whatever your name was.
You jerk! You broke my soul.
You liked this episode, I bet you.
And if you didn't listen to Tuesday, if you didn't like that one, I don't. Listen to Wednesday. I hate that one actually. I don't like Ursi. Friday's a good show
Yeah,
as well.
Friday's a good show.
Yeah, so
that's our best show.
Yep.
Too bad it didn't exist last week. Our best show.
Damn burglars.
Probably gonna see a huge decline.
Yeah, if I find him, I'm gonna sue him for damages
Yeah.
because that would have been a good show.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the backbone of .p at this point. That's all I hear online. Yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody's
the
talking
buzz.
about it. Look, I don't like to get too up in my head about these things. I like to stay down to earth.
Sure.
Me and Brad Pitt, you might know him. We go out for drinks.
Yeah.
He's going through some rough times with
I heard
Angelina.
about that. I heard about that. Yeah.
I'm kind of like his confidant. He listened to Proudland and really felt the connection, and so we've been talking a little bit. But I don't like to let that get to my head. I'm just like anybody else.
Yeah. What position does Brad Pitt play?
He plays the what, I guess, what's the position that looks good but does nothing? You know what I mean?
I feel like whatever you answer here is going to offend 1/5 of the audience, no matter what.
He plays all positions, and he makes them all look good.
It looks good but does nothing. Lena.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Because raindrops keep falling.
Yeah. All right. Oh, next time around, I want to talk about all that Slack stuff that you were talking about with me, where he went back and did the MMR thing, or tried to duplicate his run to the upper echelons of MMR.
Yeah. Well, that's not coming from the horse's mouth. That's coming from the community.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to have a discussion about it, have you explain it a little bit to me, because I missed that whole thing. I've been moving. So,
Dude, just get Reddit on your phone.
I know. I just haven't,
I just literally read it.
Well, I think it'd be interesting.
And then just do
I think it'd be interesting discussion.
I do one thumb swipe and I'm able to read all the headlines, and then I feel like I'm up to date.
And I think you and I probably would have some interesting, like, our own, like, take. It'd be fun to have.
There was
our
like
take
a bad art day on our Dota.
Really?
Where it was like people drawing shitty drawings of heroes in paint. And it was at the top, like all of them were at the top of our Dota. It's weird how the trends go.
We totally should have done that.
Like going viral is a lot like getting top of our Dota. It's like so unexpected. There's no way you can recreate it unless you're Slacks. Like Slacks is the only person that can make it to top of our Dota every single day. And it's just weird. I wish there was some way that I could like understand why some shitty painting of Lena in MS Paint made it to the top of our Dota, and then another one of Storm Spirit, and then one of Ricky that was just a white screen. And it said, "Look, I painted Ricky." And it was just white. Yeah, and like literally I was just like, really? Relevant news source, huh?
Well, it's not news, it's a forum at the end of the day.
Well, I don't think the moderators would like to look at it that way, but...
It's not a news outlet. I'm sorry, it's not a news outlet. No Reddit ever.
I guess it isn't.
Is technically,
Leafeater
or by any good... appropriate ethical definition of the term news outlet will be a news outlet. I'm sorry.
I guess true.
I have too much.
I like Leafeater so much though. He's such a nice dude. I
do too. I don't. Not that it's not a valuable.
No, don't talk shit
resource.
on Leafeater, dude. Okay,
this is what you're gonna do.
Just because he couldn't make it into the after party while we were all up in there. Okay,
this is how it is.
That doesn't mean he needs to get talked shit on. Okay, Leafeater does a lot of good work out there with his jungle videos.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I'm sorry that I spent the whole podcast talking shit on Leafeater, and that's what's going to wind up somewhere.
I really do. Leafeater's a really cool guy, and for anybody, he will write you back. Like if you,
he's a cool dude.
But don't just like flood his inbox. Just like if you actually have like something you want to talk about and like you a serious concern for our Dota, Leafeater is on top of that shit. Like he's a good dude. I don't know why. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I don't know why I'm giving him shout outs or anything.
I don't me either.
But like, I like him.
Anyway, because we brought up they're not a news. I'm sorry, they're not a news outlet. No. I have too much respect for actual news outlets.
Yeah.
And I have that weird,
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, they're not a news outlet.
Okay, I'm going to kill the show because it feels like it's already dead.
Yep.
If you guys want to find us, we're at defenselesspatriots.com. We don't need you to go there and find the survey. You'll notice no survey commercial this episode because
Did the survey get taken off the website?
No, it hasn't yet, but it will.
We don't need demographics anymore. Matter of fact, you guys got us demographics quicker than they had ever seen.
Yep, it was for a podcast our size, they did not expect us to get them that quickly.
And they also said that we are extremely surprised that you are top 100 video game podcast.
Get that. That is a true comment. Yes.
We are the only Dota podcast that is in the top 100 for video games. So
Are we? Are
Yes,
we
we
for
are.
sure?
100%. We're the only top 100 video game podcast
Yeah,
that has
they
anything to do
basically
with
said
Dota.
it was really cool to be in the top 100, and that. Yeah. Anyway, it was fun to get, and it was really cool to see the demographics. I would be down to talk about demographics. I'm
so
kind of
would
a
I.
geek. Like
People that listen to this show are. I don't want to get into that.
So one tidbit,
Generally smart. You guys are generally smart.
well educated is the way to put it.
Well educated and older.
Yeah.
Much older than we thought. You guys are starting at my. I just barely turned 25.
Yeah, so the biggest demographic is 25 to 31, and then the second biggest is that under 25 demographic, and then the third biggest is the over 31 demographic.
Yeah, so most of our listeners.
I mean, of course, if you think about the lifespan of a human being, like, of course, it's kind of that way. But it was surprising. We kind of thought that it would be
and
more
by overwhelmingly 25 to 31.
Yeah, I thought it would be more the 18 to 25. But yeah,
but it's because Billy Bob filled out like 50 of those, and he thinks he's 25 years old.
yeah,
so
that's
it's
probably
like,
it. That's probably it. But no, and then the more interesting fact is that nearly 80% of our audience has some level of higher education.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Beyond high school, and something like
But that's
50%
who cares?
have
Who
a college
cares?
degree. Anyway.
Closes.
All right, I think it's cool. We don't need demographic data though, so now you just get to hear me.
And yeah,
drone on
we
about
had
demographic
we
data.
had big wigs contacting us. It was crazy, like
was fun.
big wig advertisers.
So, but another big thank you guys. Like if you're enjoying content,
if we get to top 50, we may be seeing putting LD out of business. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
let's do that.
Oh no,
I love it. I'm just joking.
I feel there are too many enemies you've made this episode potentially already. Why do you do it? Why do you have to do it?
No, LD's a great guy.
Of course.
And hopefully we can get him for our Christmas episode this year as well.
Yeah, that would be
because he played the Grinch last
Yeah.
year. Maybe I'll play the Grinch.
Or if you like that comment about like how we got demographics super fast and how we were one of the few video game podcasts that they'd seen hit top 100.
Yeah, he's like, wow, like we don't usually see video game podcasts hit top 100. So
well, I mean, we are in top 100 video game podcasts, so at least 100 have to hit it. But I think they were talking about specifically hosted.
But you guys got to realize that any iteration of the Nerdist, any iteration of like Bombcast, any iteration of these,
Right.
they're taking up like the top 30. So
Yeah.
it's a really big milestone. That honestly, I was like the pessimist when this all started. Said we'd never hit anywhere near what we're hitting, and now we're opening escape rooms, we're starting new podcasts, we're looking into buying real estate, we're doing all sorts of things. So follow your dreams. Like that's not even like a funny thing. Like honestly, like if you have a good idea.
Well, and thank you for helping us follow our dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
More importantly, and if you're enjoying the show, best way you can help us.
Shit just got real.
Tell a
like
friend.
no, like it really did this. That's why we were having drinks. Really, is we were talking about how we want to go about advertising without being invasive on our listeners, because you guys have been so kind.
Yeah.
And so we're going to.
We're gonna figure something
We're going to
out.
actually hold off on advertising for even a little longer. It looks like.
Yeah,
It's looking
for a
like
little
you're
bit,
not going to have advertising on episodes of Defense of the Patients for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna let this thing grow even more.
Yeah,
Because you guys are telling.
I
Because you guys are.
I don't want to.
No, because you guys are telling your friends. You guys are.
Yeah.
You guys are doing like.
It's
It's really cool. Whatever.
I feel like that's one of those statements that like requires a bit of a caveat, which is like for the next little while might just be a matter of weeks as opposed to a matter of.
Well, it depends on how quickly we grow. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
if you see advertisements in a week, that means we've grown a lot again.
sure, yeah.
I mean, we've already hit our billion mark. We're already at like 555 million downloads. We just need to get to that billion mark, and once we get a billion listeners, we're golden.
Sure.
So, yeah. Okay, close this, please, before I rant any longer and talk out my ass.
There might be advertisements coming up on the show. I'm going to go ahead and caveat that like right the fuck away. What we're trying to do is make sure that they're. We would like to have more pertinent advertisements.
Pertinent advertisements and non-invasive.
Without naming names of organizations out there, I'm sure for everybody out there that some of them come to mind. But anyway, all right.
I think, didn't Grant say that Walmart wanted to advertise with us? And we're like, Grant,
that's right.
We don't want to deal with you anyway.
Not
so,
with Walmart.
Yeah.
Why another enemy? Two more enemies.
Yeah. Well,
Why
that's
do
an
you do
enemy I'm worth. I'll keep that enemy.
Okay. defenseofpatients.com. Don't fill out the survey, or you fill it out if you want to. It's probably going to be gone by the time you hear this.
No, it's fake beefs, dude. You have to have it. M&M has fake beefs. You got to have fake beefs,
I don't know.
dude.
Why do we got to have fake beefs?
Because
I don't want fake
I've
beef.
always wanted fake beefs.
I don't want to do fake
It's follow your
I
dreams,
know you
right?
want fake beefs.
Follow your
Why?
dreams. I want fake beefs.
I wish people knew how true that statement was that you have several times said you wish you could have a fake beef with somebody to me.
Fake beefs mean you've made it, bro. Okay? All right, close us out.
At @P_show on Twitter. Also on defensivepatients.com, find our Patreon link if you want to support the show. That's a really great way to do it. Of course, the Amazon banner is another great way to do it that doesn't require any extra money from you. Just whatever you buy on Amazon, they give us a little bit of a kick. Kickback, cut, whatever,
Yeah.
one of those words.
Those things.
At @P_show on Twitter, of course. Defensive Patients on Facebook. Go give us a like there. That's one area that we really haven't boosted that much.
I've never logged into the Facebook.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
once.
the only one that logs into the Facebook.
I'm
I try to
sorry.
log in once every week or so and reply to everybody.
Blue, log into the
They're kinda
Facebook, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, get on. You know what the sad thing is? Blue will hit me up tomorrow and be like, "Yeah, could I just get the Facebook
No, I know
login?"
he will. He's so good at what he does. He really is. Blue is like a talent. Like he blew me away. That's all I've got to say is that like he blew me away.
Oh my god, that so many connotations.
Close us out.
Trying. Find us on iTunes. I think we have a new review that we haven't read yet, but we should at some point. If you guys want to go and leave us a review, that's another really great way to help us. Gets us more visibility on iTunes, which, like we said, is kind of important for continuing to grow. So reviews there help.
My
Telling
wife
a
is
friend
now
helps.
31 weeks pregnant.
Is that how long the
Yeah,
plugs have
that's how
taken?
long this fucking show has taken for you to close it out.
Defensivepatients@gmail.com. Send business inquiries. Hit us up. Give us your feedback. We love reading all those things. Coming up tomorrow, Try Her Tuesdays. Another roundtable, Me Mid Wednesday. Theorycraft Thursday, and of course Proudland will be back on Friday. And check out Let There Be Geeks if you're enjoying our content here. You want to hear me and Roland, have actual
me and
conversations.
Denny's little brother.
That's right. My younger brother was on today's Let There Be
But
Geeks.
he's such a natural. Like he
Yeah.
should have started this, not us. Like
he's a better podcaster.
Yeah,
already.
I've always.
Well, he's been a performer.
To be honest, I'm not okay. Sorry, I'm going to go for
Okay.
a little while longer.
All right.
I will do an open admission. I was jealous of your brother for so many years.
Because he was in a
I wanted
semi-popular local band.
No, like I wanted to be him, dude.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna say that. Like I wanted to be your brother.
He touts himself as a rock star.
No, like I would see how he like acted in parties. I'd see like the shows that he put on, and he was just so natural and so good. And I was just like, God, like I despised him because I wanted to be him.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's cool to like I feel like
Well, let me just show you some pictures of him as a kid wearing his tie-dye shirts and his big hippie piece.
No, that's when I wanted to be him.
Oh
dude.
my god. He looked ridiculous, and he had
He
no
was
reason
so
to.
cool, dude. What are you talking? He was cool.
Yeah. Anyway, he's on talking about LARPing.
Which is not cool.
Which is the least cool thing ever.
No, it's cool.
That's the funny thing is he always touted himself as being super fucking cool, and he was in a band, which really, really fucking helped. But
one of the few
deep
people
down-
that I've known that was in a
deep
band
down.
and got laid. Like I was in
Really?
a band and never got laid for being in a band.
Man, I felt like everybody I knew that was in a band was getting laid.
Yeah, they were getting laid all the time. Not me.
I remember thinking,
I think it
God,
was-
I just need to get into a band so I can get fucking laid.
It doesn't really work like that. I guess you have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I didn't push it hard enough. Maybe
That's a problem with getting laid all the time. You got to be able to push just the right amount, bro.
Yeah, I guess so. I just got married and then I got laid once and
That's all you need.
fucking stork coming 32 weeks now.
Yeah, 32.
Okay, yeah,
That's how long it's taking.
yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'm Cyphus. That's Roland saying good luck and Godspeed.